stand and bow your heads, please.
Father in heaven, Lord Jesus, I thank you so much for this day and that we get to spend this day at the board meeting and make decisions for the district and every school, and that you guide us through all the decisions that you guys make, and that and to help these all of us students have a great day every single day at each of these schools. In Jesus' name, pray, amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you all received copies of the agenda. Are there any changes or corrections to it?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is the approval of the minutes. So you've also all received this from our last January 14th, 2025 meeting. Are there any changes, additions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as printed also.
Second.
All in favor? The board, anything for board comments? And we don't have no public comments. So now we're going to a recognition, Heart of the Wildcat recipients.
Good evening. It's good to see everyone. For February, we chose at 96 Primary School the character word kindness. February, we do our random acts of kindness each February and have lots of fun things for our students. So we continued that with kindness being our character word. Our teacher of the month is Miss Trisha Boatwright. She was at the gym over there waiting to see somebody, so she has made her way. You can come on up, Trisha. Miss Boatwright has been a part of 96 Primary School since her junior year at Lander University. She started out with us as a practicum student. She chose to stay at 96 Primary School for her student teaching. She survived her induction year, and she is now in the middle of her second year with us. I've had the privilege of watching her grow as a teacher, and I am so proud of all that she's accomplished. Everyone knows that for an early childhood education teacher, one of the hardest obstacles is classroom management. Lots of times I've walked in to find different strategies that she used. I walked in and she had cups on her desk full of beans that the students could lose or get more of. I walked in one time and she had some balls going from the top of your interactive board to the bottom of your interactive board based on how noisy the students were. She found anything and everything that she could to make things better and more successful in her classroom. And it wasn't long before I was utilizing the strategies that she was putting into her classroom and showing those to all of our other teachers who needed to freshen up classroom management skills as well. This showed that Miss Boatwright was willing to do anything and go above and beyond to make a conducive learning environment for her students. Also, Miss Boatwright had the second highest growth percentage for our winter already data. So that was something that we were very proud of her for as well. So thank you, Miss Boatwright, for being a big part of 96 Primary School. My staff member of the month was unable to be here. Her family was got the flu bug. Miss Ree has been a special education teaching assistant with us for several years. She is always ready and willing to do anything she needs to help her students. She has become a leader and taken on several different roles this year, with us being short one special ed teacher. She spends her own time looking for strategies to help the individual students in her classroom succeed with their IEP goals and their skills that they're working on. She works hard to make sure that her students are included with their same age peers throughout each day. She's been a part of IEP meetings when we didn't have a special education teacher to be a part, to make sure that we were putting the correct skills and things that her students needed to work on in their current IEPs. She plays such an important part on each day to make our special education classroom run smoothly with so many age levels and needs of the children in our class. Thank you very much to Miss Reed. Hope she feels better.
This month's word for Edgewood Middle School is creativity. Creativity means having imagination, creating new ideas, and the production of new initiatives. We are proud of everything that our school has accomplished in recent years, but with change, we've had to try to find a lot of ways every day to complete ordinary tasks. The two candidates that are represented tonight really helped us this year and with change, and offered new ideas for the success of our building and our school year. So first, our teacher of the year, Ms. Cook, if you can come forward. Ms. Cook has been teaching at Edgewood now for a couple years. She has done a great job with teaching 6th grade math here. Her creativity this year has been shown, especially on our job shadowing day. We do job shadowing where our students go out and job shadow across the county and go to different places. Ms. Cook took it upon herself. She was like, I feel upset because there's a lot of kids that don't have the opportunity to go job shadow, so she took it upon herself to line up job shadowers to come in and present to the students that were left at school that did not have the opportunity. We had a physical therapist come in, we had an occupational therapist come in, we had, the other one was a process engineer. I don't even know what that person does, but a process engineer came in and talked to them. And we also got the food service in our school to take the kids on a tour of the kitchen and, fed them cookies and things and let them see the different parts of the school. So that goes to Miss Cook. She did that hands down by herself, and she brought the idea, and I thought it was an excellent idea. So that's why this month's Creativity Award goes to Miss Cook. All right, our next award, Miss Rogers. So Miss Rogers has come into our school on a blaze of fire. I don't know if she's on fire because of the demands of the front office with all the different bells and whistles that go off on a daily basis, or because she is really trying to do an excellent job. But either way, we are so thankful that she is there. I was up there the other day and we had the doorbell ringing, the phone was ringing, the phone on the front desk was ringing because somebody was trying to call us. We had some alarm that was going off on the wall for some fire thing that kept ringing, and we had to keep resetting it, and I kept answering the phone every time the wall would ring, trying to help her out. So I can only imagine how her day goes when she gets home at night, and she's got to have something other than a bell or a whistle that wakes her up in the morning. Her attention to detail and energy to accomplish all these tasks while smiling the entire time is nothing short of amazing. She will ask me on a daily basis, who is responsible for doing this or that? And my response most of the time is, I don't really know. I think probably you. She has done a great job getting thrown into the fire this year, and I'm thankful for her creativity, her effort, and her positivity that she brings to our front office. Congratulations, Ms. Rogers.
Good evening. Character work for this month at 96 High School is respect. Respect is treating others with kindness, understanding, and consideration, valuing their opinions, feelings, and differences. Respect is essential in a high school community because it helps create a safe and supportive environment where everyone feels valued and heard. When students and staff respect one another, it fosters positive relationships, reduces conflicts, and promotes collaboration, thus creating an environment where learning and personal growth can occur. Respect helps reduce bullying and misunderstandings, builds trust, and encourages open communication. Respect also encourages diversity, allowing people to express themselves freely without fear or judgment. It also sets a strong foundation for resolving conflicts peacefully and developing a sense of community where everyone works together to achieve common goals. By practicing respect, we build a stronger, more inclusive school community where everyone can thrive, learn, and grow together. We are proud to recognize Shannon Hairston as our support staff of the month. Shannon couldn't be with us because she had jury duty for the second time in 3 months. Ms. Hairston is a vital part of our school community, serving as the gatekeeper of 96 High School. She is the first face you see when you enter the building and the last one you see when you leave. Her presence is felt at the start and end of every day, making her an important welcoming figure for students, staff, and visitors alike. Whether you are calling the school or arriving in person, Ms. Hairston is often the first voice you hear. She consistently greets everyone with a warm smile and friendly demeanor. Her kindness and willingness to listen make her an invaluable resource to everyone who interacts with her. Ms. Hairston is also a person who exemplifies thoughtfulness. She always takes the time to ensure others feel valued and supported. No task is too small for her to handle, and she approaches everything with a positive attitude. Her ability to find humor in even the most challenging situations makes her a joy to be around. Her laughter is contagious, and she helps remind us all of the bright side of life. In all that she does, Ms. Hairston continuously shows that what it means to be a dedicated, caring, and optimistic member of our school community. We're lucky to have her as part of the team and are grateful for the positive impact she has on everyone around her. We're also excited to recognize Ms. Mary Catherine Thompson as our Teacher of the Month. As our art teacher, Ms. Thompson's passion for art shines through in the engaging projects she creates for her students. Her classroom is filled with creativity and expression where students not only learn but also thrive. The projects she designs spark enthusiasm, and many students choose to return during their own time to continue their art projects, a testament to the lasting impact of her teaching. Ms. Thompson also serves as a safe space for her students. With her open heart and caring nature, she offers a listening ear for those who need it, creating an environment where students feel heard and valued. Her classroom provides a refuge from the stress and noise of the daily school routine, giving students a place to escape, unwind, and express themselves freely. Her ability to balance creativity with compassion makes Ms. Thompson a standout educator. We are so fortunate to have her on our team, and her positive influence on our students and the school community is truly invaluable. Ms. Thompson.
So next up on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Dr. Taylor.
All right, thank you. In your packet, field trips, professional leave requests, and fundraiser requests are, those that would like to leave can leave now, okay? Thank y'all for being here. The field trips, the professional leave requests, and fundraiser requests are in your packet. There is one overnight request for wrestling. So we will need a motion for that. Great.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, any questions about any other trips?
A lot going on.
Yeah, it does look like a lot.
We do, they're busy. Also in your packet, there is a parenting report. Any questions about the parenting report or concerns? if you'll look on page 46, there is the 25-26 proposed school calendar. It's the 190-day calendar. As you can see from the calendar, it is lined up very much like District 50 for the 180 days. The 190 days look a little different. Our training's a little bit different. We do have some days we have front-loaded for the year for PD. But most of this is very consistent with what we've done in the past also.
What does PD stand for?
Professional development.
Okay, so that means like on January 6th will be the first day as opposed to January 5th
Yes.
for students.
Yes. Any questions on the calendar?
Are these are two calendars, but those are something different?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
That's the parent
that's from Miss Minyard.
Gotcha.
All right, and then there is a request, I'm making a request and seeking a motion to change our July 8th meeting to July 15th for 2025.
I'll make a motion to move that meeting to July 15th.
I
Thank you.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Should we back up the motion for the calendar?
Yes, I'm sorry, we do need to make a motion for the calendar. You're correct.
I make a motion that we accept the 2025-2026 calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, looks like next on the agenda is finance, Mr. Andrew Mackey.
Good evening, everyone. Our monthly financial update as of January 31st, 2025. Our revenue is about $6.9 million. Our expenses are about $8.4 million. That revenue number does not include our January tax reports, which that's always our biggest month. For example, last January, we received $4.5 million in taxes from the county. About $2.4 million of that was our fee in lieu of tax revenue we got. So that's where we'll see the decline with Fuji no longer being in business or under the same agreement. So we might receive less money in January for this year, but it should still be around $2 million at a minimum. So that, if you add $2 million to that $6.9 million in revenue, our revenue is now exceeding our expenses, which is to be expected. If you annualize our expenses out throughout the rest of the year, we're still trending under budget overall. So we're in pretty good shape financially at this point of the year. Are there any questions on the financial update? All right, I'll move into our capital projects update. We have a lot going on there. The access controls at the 96 primary school are nearly complete. We just have to run some power to a couple of the new equipment, and they will be up and running. The 96 elementary school access controls, through some work by Officer Boudreaux, we got a second round of grant funding from the state, which will allow us to add access controls at the elementary school. That application that Mac filled out was based off a quote from A3 Communications, so they've been awarded the contract to then do the work at the elementary school. I'm meeting with them Monday to get that process started. The additional cameras that we're putting in and throughout the district, that work is nearly finished at the primary school and elementary school, and they just started at the complex this week. The boiler that needs to be replaced at the complex, the high school, middle school boiler that feeds all the cafeteria equipment, that contract's been awarded to Mathis Heating and Plumbing. That's the same company that replaced the other boiler that was failing 2 years ago, and they should be able to replace that over spring break. The classroom furniture for the primary school and elementary school, We are waiting on updated designs from the furniture company based on walkthroughs that he did at the primary school and elementary school. Hoping to get those sometime this week, and we'll keep that ball rolling. The solicitation for resurfacing the track outside has been posted, and we have an initial walkthrough meeting on Friday with potential vendors. So hopefully we'll get a lot of them to show up, so we'll get a good competitive price. And then lastly, the generators. They do have generators on state contract, so I'm exploring that option. I've played phone tag with the guy for quite a while, so I've talked to him a little bit. Still waiting on quotes to see if they have what we need. And then lastly, I want to talk about our contract with the Bud Group, our janitorial custodial contract. We are currently in the 5th year of that contract. The way our procurement policy is set up is our multi-year contracts can go up to 5 years. And then after 5 years, you either have to bid it out again, or you can get board approval to do another year, to add on a year. So before we went down the route of bidding it out, which is a pretty drawn out process, we discussed some of the pricing with some other districts who use the Bud Group and who use other cleaning services, just to see if the price we're getting currently is fair. We pay around $1.70 per square foot, and that does fall in line with the other districts in our area that I talked to. So our price does seem to be fair. In discussing it with the Bud Group, you know, if we put it out for bid, rather than just bidding on or having a price for 1 year, they're now bidding 5 years out. So they said that they would have to go up on their price just to account for, you know, things are more expensive now than they were when our contract came about 5 years ago. So if we bid it out, they said our price would go from about $1.70 to $1.90 or $2 per square foot. So it would be a pretty significant price jump, but they are agreeing to, if we wanted to do another year, to just do a small 3% consumer price index price increase on our contract, which is par for the course. We've done that every year. Not just from a financial standpoint, but from a service standpoint, we are very happy with the Bud Group. They get good reports from our principals quarterly when they meet. The other districts I've discussed this with who use other vendors, not the Bud Group, are not nearly as satisfied. One actually just switched, bid it out, and went with the Bud Group. And another one is preparing to bid it out because they're not happy with one of the other providers. So considering all of that, we feel that it's most advantageous to the district to re-up with it for another year with the Bud Group, just because it's continues our good service that we have, and it locks us in at a better price range. Or
If you do a 1-year extension, you can only do that once, and then you have to rebid, or can you do
Well,
a series of 1-year extensions?
We can only get board approval for an extension 1 year at a time, but we can continuously bring this back to the board and have you guys approve it
Okay.
indefinitely, just as long as the management can't do it ourselves. We can't just keep locking in a contract, but as long as we bring it to you guys and get board approval, we can pretty much do that for as long as we want to.
But prior to this year, we had a 5-year contract, or is that correct? Or
I mean, it's technically a 5-year contract. The way it's like legally written, it's a year. It's a 1-year contract with a renewal option for up to 5 years.
Okay.
Very rarely does anybody ever get out of a contract without serving out the full term. It does happen, but so it's essentially a 5-year contract, but in practice, it's a year-to-year for up to 5 years. So considering all.
You made the recommendation of extending it for a year, is that right?
Yeah, so we'd have to have board approval to extend it for 1 year. Yeah, didn't even know what that was. It's the first time Jay Reynolds can't understand me.
You are there.
Do we have a motion?
Yeah, motion that we, go with the recommendation as far as, extending it another year.
I'll
Vote
second.
group.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, next is on the agenda is instruction, Mr. David Schoolfield.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For your reading pleasure, I present to you the program of studies and all 67 pages of it, sure to cure the strongest cases of insomnia. So I'm just going to highlight some changes from previous year to this year in the program of studies in there. What it does is it outlines the courses, educational activities, and the requirements to be classified in each grade that students will undertake with our academic programs at 96 High School. It includes details such as course titles, descriptions, prerequisites, credits, and recommended sequences for taking courses, AP, dual credit, CTE completers, honors, and related arts. So some of the changes of page 7 and 8, if you want to flip to page 7 and 8, highlight those. Otherwise, this is the same one that we've had in the past, and which is on our website. The requirements to be classified as a sophomore, junior, and senior are increasing for the rising ninth graders. That is our current 8th grade, so our freshmen next year, the class of 2029. We have always classified, and as part of our report card is on track to graduate. We've always needed to have 5 credits for that. The state, however, pulls, they tell you only need 5 credits, but the state pulls information and says you need 6 credits. So we're going to align with what the state says and make a requirement that our freshmen have to have 6 credits in order to be classified to move up to a sophomore status for that. We can't go back and do that retroactively for the other classes, but it really shouldn't matter. For instance, our current freshman class, we had it approved last year by the board for 5, so that's how we're going to classify them as a sophomore, so that they have the 5 credits for this year. But for the incoming freshmen, they will need 6 for that. This will align with the South Carolina Educated Oversight Committee's requirements for the High School Student Success Indicator, which measures the percentage of students who are either in their first 3 years at a high school and are on track to graduate within 4 years, or who achieve a successful high school outcome within 5 years. If you and you see this, if you compare the chart on page 7 and the chart on page 8, you will notice the changes and the requirements for classification. Is there any questions about those? All right, if you want to flip to pages, start on page 20. We have a brand new set of math standards that will be adopted, or have been adopted for the 25-26 school year. So you'll see the changes in the mathematics curriculum. Changes correlate to the new math standards, so there have been some deletion of courses such as Foundations of Algebra and Intermediate Algebra and Probability and Statistics. Those courses will no longer be offered per the state. Statistics has been integrated into geometry, now the first math in the sequence. So if y'all remember back to your high school days, whenever you started high school, some of us that have been around longer, we actually had pre-algebra as a high school class. Then you went to Algebra 1, and then you went to geometry. That is no longer the case. The state says you start with geometry, and then you go to Algebra 1, and then Algebra 2. You have the same looks that we had whenever they suggested this. This is statewide. Okay? Probability has been integrated into the Algebra 2 course. These changes are also reflected in the name of the course. There are also 3 new courses that we are planning to offer as well: Reasoning and Mathematics, Applications and Modeling, and Statistical Modeling, which will satisfy the 4th math requirement for students for graduation. And the last new change, if you want to flip there, quick change, page 56 is a new cluster that the RTC, Russell Technology Center, that serves all 3 districts in Greenwood County, is offering. It is a marketing cluster, and that shows the courses that will be required in order to complete that cluster. So, Mr. Sproul is with me. He worked quite a bit on this, on compiling this information and getting this together. This is his baby. And obviously for the course offerings that are happening at the high school, he is probably better apt to answer any of those questions, but if y'all have any of those questions, we'll be happy to answer those at this time. And if not, this does require board approval each year, so I would ask for a motion to approve the program of studies.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job.
Next on the agenda is safety. Mr. McBoudreau.
In y'all's package, you have your report for January. Primary school had one with a disorderly conduct report. Elementary had an information report. Edgewood Middle School had a property check. High school had information report. Alternative Zero Transportation had a civil disturbance, which basically it was an argument between the bus driver and the parent. The high school baseball field, nothing. The athletic complex had also another civil disturbance. District office had 0, which gives you 7 for the month. That is down 4 from 11 from last month and down 1 from 8 this time last year. Drills and training, district had their district-wide fire safety inspection, and I'll touch more on that in the updates and information. All 4 schools had their fire drills, and the dates are listed there for you. Primary school had an active intruder drill on the 28th. The 13th, the high school did their weapons detection in their car line, and on the 24th, middle school did their weapons detection in their car line as well. Updates and information. The yearly district-wide fire inspection, we did it on the 3rd of the month, which was the Friday before students came back. So staff was there, but no students, and it's just the state marshal going through and checking off 44 points on his report. And if you look below that right there, you'll see each school. The yeses mean that they passed that particular point. No's means they needed to correct that particular point, and the NA is that particular point did not apply to that specific school building. So for the primary school, they had 26 yeses, 9 no's, and 9 NAs. Elementary had 34 yeses, 2 no's, and 8 NAs. The middle school had 36 yeses, 4 no's, and 4 NAs. The high school had 39 yeses, 2 no's, and 3 NAs. As of yesterday, what I do is I give out a form that has all their corrections on it. The principals go through with their staff in those particular areas. They make sure it's corrected, and they sign off on it. And I get it back, and I report it back to the state marshal, which they have all done that to yesterday. And they have 30 days to do that. Moving on to weapons detections, you'll see each school's there, the numbers of students that were scanned, which is 201 students. 31 students were detected, which means the alarm went off. There's a 16% detection rate, and nothing was found. The high school had 129 students scanned, 19 students detected at a 15% detection rate with nothing found. Any questions?
How do you scan the car line?
So what, it's different from most schools, but as the kids come out of the car line and they enter the entrance where they're supposed to be coming in at.
Yeah.
At the middle school, we have them just inside the hallway, and we've done that just because of either it's weather or it's the temperature. And we've been doing it because it's basically the temperature outside has been in the 30s and 40s, and we're not gonna have kids standing outside in the cold for no reason. So we brung them inside so they can come inside and unpack what they need to unpack from their bags and go through it. And then they go to where they're supposed to go. High school, same concept. They do it inside the PE hallway. This is where they come in at. And they have a place where they can unpack, go through the scanner, they can get their stuff back, you hand them their stuff back, they repack and go to where they're supposed to go. That's how they do it. And the buses are basically the same way. They're
Yeah.
just inside the entrance at the bus line.
So y'all plan to do this randomly,
Yeah.
monthly?
So the principals pick a date they wanna do it. It's either, it could be, they can pick one a week out, or they can pick one the next day. It really depends on
Yeah.
how their schedules are and if they feel like they need to do it at this point.
And one more question, it may not apply to you, I don't know, but I noticed that the high school students are now walking around the building to enter through the front. Is that a
Mhm.
security thing?
They've been doing, if they drive,
Yeah.
they usually, they are in the parking lot and they
Okay.
come to the front
It just seems like
anyway.
I've seen more, instead of entering through the side, now I see kids walking through the front.
Oh, you're talking about that indoor to the parking lot?
Yeah,
That door has been locked, so now we only have
okay.
2 entrances. The main reason for that door was only unlocked for, 7 minutes on a daily basis. It was open from 8:17 to 8:25,
Gotcha.
so about 7-8 minutes.
But
That
what
door was
you're
even
saying is
unlocked.
On these days, that helps,
Yeah,
that makes that happen, so yes, security is a great thing.
Yeah, so
Okay.
now they only have 2 entrances they come in, and that's the same for the middle school. So they come in one door for the car line, one door for the buses.
gotcha.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda is policies. Ms. Kathy Anderson.
Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We have 2 policies that I'm bringing back before you for second reading. Policy ID, school day, and policy IKF, graduation requirements. I've not received any requests for questions about these, so I'll just pause a minute to see if you have any other concerns about these 2 policies or questions that you need answered. And if there are none, I'm seeking a motion to approve policy ID and policy IKF.
Make a motion to approve policy ID, policy IKF.
So,
All in favor?
Okay. This ends the policies from the legislative update based on the changes in law from this last year and into this year's school year. I do have one more policy that I would like to bring to you next month that we could not get ready for this month, and it's the code of conduct update that the principals and assistant principals have been working on. And so that's all that I have, unless you have any other policies that you would like for us to examine or take a look at for editing and revising. So you can let me know if you have any other things that you would like for us to discuss during the policy section. Okay? All right. Move into personnel.
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, in your packet tonight on page 143 is a list of administrative contract recommendations. For those of you that are new to the board, we do not discuss these contract recommendations by name. We only refer to them by acronym. So you'll look to the left, they're A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way down to CC. These are principals, assistant principals, athletic directors, district office staff is on this list, and that's pretty much all, district level maintenance, any kind of district level positions that we have. Dr. Taylor's name is not on this because the superintendent's contract is approved separately from the administrative contract. She'll have a meeting for her evaluation and her approval. But this is the rest of the district office employees that we have. So if you look, you see their name, you see their title, and then you see the contract that'll be issued. Some of them have certified LOA because those folks hold a South Carolina teaching credential. The ones that don't hold a teaching credential say classified LOA. And then if you see supplemental LOA, those are for your extracurricular activities. We refer to those as supplemental, and LOA is letter of agreement. So, if that makes sense, that's how these are coded. So at this time, I'm seeking a motion to approve the administrative contracts for 25-26. for the folks listed on this list.
I'll make a motion to approve the, recommendation as printed.
Thank you.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so next month, we will bring the teacher list, the school list of all employees at the school level, because we want to get this approved in March so we can issue contracts and letter of agreements in April for those folks. So next month, you can expect that to kind of come before you for consideration. That's all I have at this time, Dr. Green.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
At this point, we'll need a motion to go into executive session for discussion of employment matters related to resignations and terminations.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?